Hi, boys and girls. This is Mr. Rigali again, and this is my daughter.
Alexa.
Alexa is a 6-year-old who's in first grade, and she loves a good book. And this is one of my favorites by Chris Van Allsburg. This is called The Garden of Abdul Gasazi. It's about a retired magician, and if you like magic, then you will like this book. And again, Chris Van Allsburg, he's the type of author, or he is an author as well as an illustrator. So he writes and he illustrates his own pictures. And the one really cool thing about Chris Van Allsburg is that you see this little dog down here? See the little dog, Lex?
Mm-hmm.
So before he wrote this book, his brother-in-law, as the story goes, his brother-in-law, his wife's brother, had a dog, and the dog's name was Fritz, and the dog passed away. And to honor the dog Fritz, in this book, starting in this book, and then in every book afterwards, he put Fritz in the book. So starting here, you'll see one of the main characters is the dog named Fritz.
I forgot it again.
Girls, worst.
Come on.
The Garden of Abdul Gasazi. So for this book, I'll read it this way, and then I'll pick it up to show you the pictures afterwards. Okay? 6 times Miss Hester's dog, Fritz, had bitten dear cousin Eunice. So when Miss Hester received an invitation to visit Eunice, she was not surprised to read, P.S. Please leave your dog home. On the day of her visit, Miss Hester asked young Alan Mitz to stay with Fritz and give him his afternoon walk. And here is the picture of...
I think you need to put it a little bit more.
I think you're right. Here we go. There's Miss Hester. And then over here, you see Fritz and young Alan. What was his name? Young Alan. It rhymes with Fritz. Young Alan Mitz. Mm-hmm. As soon as Miss Hester left, Fritz ran into the parlor. He loved to chew on the chairs and shake the stuffing out of the pillows. But Alan was ready. All morning long, he kept Fritz from sinking his sharp teeth into the furniture. Do you have a dog? Does your dog like to chew on pillows and furniture? I don't have a dog, but I have a daughter named Alexa, and she likes to do that too.
Come on, I don't...
But Alan was ready. All morning long, he kept Fritz from sinking his sharp teeth into the furniture. Finally, the dog gave up and fell asleep, exhausted. Alan took a nap too, but first, he hid his hat under his shirt, hats being one of Fritz's favorite things to chew. And you can see over here, there's young Alan Mitz. Can you see the dog in the picture, Lex?
Oh, it's right there.
Oh, he's
under
peeking through, huh?
Yeah.
Look at that. Peeking through.
He's probably technically sleeping because he was under the couch and I couldn't see his eyes, so I don't know.
That's very likely, isn't it? Smart lady. You take after your father. An hour later, Alan quickly awoke when Fritz gave him a bite in the nose. The bad-mannered dog was ready for his afternoon walk. Alan fastened Fritz's leash, and the dog dragged him out of the house. Walking along, they discovered a small white bridge on the side of the road. Alan decided to let Fritz lead the way across.
What do you think is going to happen next?
That's a great question. Why don't you ask the boys and girls who are watching?
I don't know if they're going to know. Most likely.
I wonder where they're going to go. Any idea?
To the person's house?
Miss Hester's house?
Or is she just there?
I don't know. I don't know.
Maybe.
Well, Miss Hester is visiting dear cousin Eunice. So, hey, what did you read and find out? Sounds like a plan?
Mm-hmm.
This is my favorite picture of all. I love this picture.
Is that guy like waving to that guy or something?
We'll have to wait and find out. We got to show the audience, don't we? Some distance beyond the bridge, Alan stopped to read a sign. The sign said, absolutely, positively, no dogs allowed in the garden. At the bottom, it was signed, Abdul Gasazi, retired magician. Behind the sign stood a vine-covered wall with an open doorway. Alan took the warning quite seriously. He turned to leave, but as he did, Fritz gave a tremendous tug and snapped right out of his collar. He bolted straight ahead through the open door, with Alan running behind him.
Wait, did this sign actually just say like no dogs allowed?
It said no. It said absolutely, positively, no dogs allowed. That's exactly what it says.
Wait. Oh yeah. Wait, Papa.
It says it right in the text too.
The old guy who retired, was that the person that was on the back of the cover? The one who
I can't tell you.
like
It's top secret. Don't steal my thunder. Fritz, stop, you bad dog, cried Alan, but the dog simply ignored him. Down shadowed paths and across sunlit lawns they raced deeper and deeper into the garden. Finally, Alan drew close enough to grab hold of Fritz, but as he reached out, he slipped and he fell. Fritz barked with laughter as he galloped out of sight. Alan slowly picked himself up. He knew he had to find Fritz before Mr. Gasazi discovered him. Bruised and tired, he hurried off in the dog's direction.
Wait, there's a cute little bunny.
There is.
Bunny.
Can you imagine a dog barking with laughter?
I never saw.
Have you ever heard a dog bark with laughter?
No, I never saw Booker do that.
Do you think dogs tell jokes to each other? You think so?
I don't know.
What kind of a joke would a dog say? Oh, I know. I know what the dog would say.
Who let the dog out? Who? Or is it who?
I don't know if they would say. But a good dog joke is... Oh, what was it? I just forgot it. Never mind. No, I got it. So there was a guy and he said, listen, my dog can talk. He's smarter than you are. And the other guy says, no, he's not. He says, yeah, watch this. Hey, what's that thing on top of the house? And the dog says, roof. See?
I get it. Oh, a dog roof and a roof on top of the house.
Yep. And then the guy's like, oh yeah? He says, watch this. See, he's still even smarter than you. What do you call that stuff on the outside of a tree? Bark.
Now that's actually a dog that has
good sense of humor, huh? Yeah, I hear you. After a long search, Alan was ready to give up. He was afraid he might never find Fritz. But then he came upon fresh dog prints. Slowly, he followed Fritz's tracks along a path that led into a forest. The dirt path ended, and a brick path began. There were no more tracks to follow, but Alan was certain that Fritz must be ahead. Wait a second. Is Fritz a dog or is Fritz a head?
The Fritz is a dog.
Then why did he say he was certain that Fritz must be a head? Is he a dog or is he a head?
Now I get it.
Do you get it?
No, I don't get it. Is that a mansion?
Yeah, I believe it might be. Let's see. Alan started running. In front of him, he could see a clearing in the forest. As he came dashing out of the woods, he stopped as quickly as if he had run up against a wall. For there in front of him stood a truly awesome sight. It was the house of Gasazi. Alan nervously climbed the great stairs, convinced that Fritz had come this way and had been captured.
Wait. Is that poisoned ivy?
I don't know. It could be a regular ivy. It doesn't have to be poisoned.
Poisoned ivy.
It's quite the mansion, isn't it?
Yeah. I think everything's poison ivy in this book.
I wonder, did a man create mansion? If it wasn't a man, would it be called a she-shin? Or a woman-shin?
Oh no, that's a man who's building.
The boy's heart was pounding when he arrived at the huge door. He took a deep breath and reached for the bell. But before he even touched it, the door swung open. There in the shadow of the hallway stood Gasazi the Great. Greetings. Do come in, was all that he said.
He looks a little fat.
Hey.
What?
He's well fed.
I don't get anything you say.
You do. Oh, did you notice this? Look.
What?
Look. See little bunnies right up here?
Oh, I did not notice that.
Yeah.
That's cute.
The little bunnies.
So cute and fluffy. Wait, that was the picture on the back when he was like.
Well, let's get to reading, shall we? Alan followed Gasazi into a large room. When the magician turned around, Alan quickly apologized for letting Fritz into the garden. He politely asked that if Mr. Gasazi had Fritz, would he please give him back? The magician listened carefully and then, smiling, said, "Certainly, you may have your little Fritzy back. Follow me." With those words, he went to the door and he led Alan Mitz outside.
Wait, that can happen.
Mm-hmm. Why not?
Why is there like circles? Like when
So he looks like he's smoking a cigar. What do you think those circles are?
It's weird.
He's blowing smoke rings.
What is that?
From what I gather, it's when you smoke and you exhale the smoke, you can make little rings.
Good thing that man isn't smoking that thing when the smoke comes out their nose.
They were walking across the lawn when suddenly Gasazi stopped by a gathering of ducks. He began to speak in a voice that was more like a growl. "I detest dogs. They dig up my flowers. They chew on my trees. Do you know what I do to dogs I find in my garden?" "What?" whispered Alan, almost afraid to hear the answer. "I turn." "What? No." In horror, Alan looked at the birds in front of him. When one duck came forward, Gasazi said, "There's your Fritz." Alan begged the magician to change Fritz back. "Impossible," he answered. "Only time can do that. This spell may last years, or perhaps just one day. Now take your dear bird, and please, don't come again."
If he ever comes back, I will punch him. I mean that big fat.
Oh yeah, Gasazi the Great.
The big fat.
There's little Fritz right there.
Maybe that's Fritz.
Or is it Fritz?
Maybe.
Or what do you think?
I think he's tricking.
You think he's tricking him? Why?
I don't know.
So wait, you think that Gasazi the Great, the magician, is tricking Alan Mitz?
Yeah.
Do you think it's possible a magician can turn a dog into a duck? Shall we wait and find out? When Alan took the bird in his arms, it tried to give him a bite. "Good old boy," said Alan sadly as he patted the bird in the head. Wait, why did Alan say "good old boy" when the bird tried to bite him?
I don't get it.
What did Fritz do at the beginning? What did Fritz like to do?
Like to bite.
He did, didn't he? So do you think this could really be Fritz as a duck? Let's see.
Wait, Papa, maybe the only reason why he likes to chew stuff is because he's having the problem when like animals need to chew stuff and all that stuff.
Maybe his teeth are sensitive. Sometimes. You never know.
Oh, like babies, like when they're forced, like.
Oh,
growing.
when they're teething?
Yeah.
That's a good point. With tears in his eyes, he started for home. Behind him, Alan could hear Gasazi laughing. As he approached the stairway, a gust of wind took Alan's hat, sailing right off his head. Running along with one arm reaching for the hat, Alan lost hold of Fritz, the duck. The duck flew out ahead and grabbed the hat in midair. But instead of landing, he just kept on flying, higher and higher, until he disappeared into the afternoon clouds.
That cannot happen.
Why
Wait,
not?
it's afternoon in that thing?
Yes.
I can't tell since
It's, good authors actually tell you when the story's happening.
I can't see, and it's only black and white.
Well, it's a black and white text, or black and white pictures, which are...
Wait, my teacher said, back then I used to take pictures and draw only black and white. Maybe this book is back then.
It's not an older book. If you look into the copyright of this book was in 1979. So it's not that old. It was just the author's style as an illustrator. He liked to do black and white. So Alan just stood and stared at the empty sky. "Goodbye, old fellow," he called out sadly, sure that Fritz was gone forever. At least he had something to chew on.
Oh.
What?
Did you read on the hat?
Wait.
What?
Didn't the dog like to chew on hats at the beginning of the book?
Mm-hmm. No.
Is it? Is this is the duck really Fritz the dog? Did the magician really turn him into a dog or a duck?
That can't happen.
Well, it's a story. Do we know that for sure? Let's keep reading.
I'm scared now.
Slowly, one step after another, Alan found his way back to the garden gate and over the bridge. It was sunset by the time he reached Miss Hester's house. Lights were on, and he knew she must be home. With a heavy heart, he approached the door, wondering how Miss Hester would take the news. Do you think she'd be happy with this?
No.
Why not?
Because she's gonna have to buy another dog. Dogs are so cute; they can't be lost.
Well, can they be lost even if they're cute? Do you think she'd be upset if he lost her dog?
Mm-hmm.
How do you think he feels?
Dog.
No, not the dog, silly goose.
Human?
How do you think Alan Mitz feels, the boy?
Oh, terrible. Wait, Papa. I think the dog is probably a duck, and you said silly goose.
Oh, I see what wordplay we have over there. Look at the next page.
Dogs. They can't reach it. The dog's back.
Huh. Is that Fritz? When Miss Hester came to the door, Alan blurted out his incredible story. He could barely hold back the tears. Then, racing out of the kitchen, dog food on his nose, came Fritz. Alan couldn't believe his eyes. "I'm afraid Mr. Gasazi played a trick on you," said Miss Hester, trying to hide a smile. "Fritz was in the front yard when I returned. He must have found his own way home while you were with Mr. Gasazi. You see, Alan, no one can really turn dogs into ducks. That old magician just made you think that duck was really Fritz."
That dog. No. That man.
Mr. Gasazi?
Yeah, whatever his name is. I can't pronounce it.
Pronounce it?
I just said that. Meh.
So, do you think?
The duck was not him.
You don't think so? So you think that the dog that Fritz just came home on his own? And you think that what Miss Hester said about Mr. Gasazi just fooling him, you think that's true? Interesting. Alan felt very silly. He promised himself he'd never be fooled like that again. He was too old to believe in magic. Miss Hester watched from the porch as Alan waved goodbye and hurried down the road to go home. Then she called out to Fritz. who came playfully running around the front yard. He came trotting up the front steps with something in his mouth and dropped it at Miss Hester's feet. "Why, you bad dog," she said. "What are you doing with Alan's hat?" Lex, how does the dog have the hat?
Okay, now I think the dog is actually a duck.
Well, where was the last time we saw the hat?
In the dog's mouth.
In the dog's mouth, or?
I mean, the duck's mouth.
So, what are you thinking?
Oh, I know. That it actually only lasted until he got home, and so when he got home, the spell thing went away.
The magician spell? And what happened to the duck and to Fritz?
Fritz and the duck are still here?
Well, what happened to the duck? Why?
And it's still alive. And I'm confused. I don't know how to say it.
This is hard to think about. So the last time we saw the hat was when the duck had it, right? And Mr. Gasazi said that he had turned Fritz into a duck.
That darn man who doesn't tell the truth, or maybe did.
But then the next time we see the hat, Fritz has the hat. So did Gasazi turn Fritz into a duck?
Well, most maybe says, why would the duck come to him? And now the duck's dead.
That's a good point.
The
The
other
duck
ducks.
came right to Alan Mitz.
Yeah, but the other ducks didn't.
So what you're saying is that the reason why the duck came to Alan Mitz was because he recognized him? Is that what you're saying? And he knew him?
Mm-hmm.
So are you saying then that Gasazi did turn Fritz into a duck?
Mm-hmm.
Huh. When did the spell wear off?
Maybe when he got back.
Interesting. What do you guys think? Could be something interesting to think about.
Yeah.
Hope you guys enjoyed the book today. Again, this is Chris Van Allsburg, the same author who wrote The Polar Express, Jumanji, Zathura. This is The Garden of Abdul Gasazi.
Wait, do you know
Say
why?
thank you, Alexa.
Do you know why there's like a coin thing?
Yeah. So this is a Caldecott honor. And they give books a Caldecott honor for their remarkable illustrations.
I don't understand.
Remarkable, amazing. For the artist's work and detail. And they've got great illustrations here. So Chris Van Allsburg's book, The Garden of Abdul Gasazi, was honored by the Caldecott, or with a Caldecott honor, award of sorts, not quite the true award, but the honor, because of Chris Van Allsburg artistry.
Do you know why there's like bunnies on the cover and like giraffes?
You tell me.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what you call it when you take bushes and you design them?
No.
They're called topiaries.
Oh, do you know in the book how there's a duck?
Should we say goodbye to everybody in Donald Duck voice?
Goodbye. Goodbye.